Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of the Scradvent tutorial series. Today we're going to be adding walls that get in the way of the player eating the apple. And we're going to make a sort of maze game where the player has to navigate around to get the apple. So let's start by creating a new sprite for the maze. And this time we want to choose paint, because we're going to be making the maze. It'll be called sprite 1, so you want to change that to maze. And now there's a few ways to make the maze. So you can either use vector or bitmap. It's your choice. Vector lets you create squares like this, and you can drag them around and overlap and stuff. While in bitmap, it's more like this, where you can just select different parts like this. I prefer vector, so I'm going to use vector, but you can choose. Now the first thing I'm going to do is change this from purple to black, because I'd rather have black walls than purple walls. And first I'm going to you can create the maze however you want. Oh, I just realized something. This is further out than it has to be, and that's because this doesn't start on x0, y0. So you want to click here and set these both to 0 so that it's centered. Now I'll continue making the maze. I'll start with these outer walls to just make sure the player can't get out here. And then I'm just going to create a basic maze. Okay, I've drawn up a basic maze, but you might notice that the cat and the apple are quite big for this maze. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the cat's costume, and I'm going to select him, and I'm just going to shrink him down so that he's smaller. And I'm actually going to make him a bit even smaller than that. That looks like a pretty good size. But now the apple's way much bigger than the cat. So we're going to do the same thing to the apple until it looks about right. And I think that works. So now let's test it out. Hang on, we can walk through the wall. Well, that's because we haven't actually coded anything. So let's say that the player moves into the wall. What do you want it to do? You want it to not go through the wall, so you'd want it to send back. So what we're going to do is it goes there, and then if we are touching the maze, which means we're in the wall, we need to go back. And now you can't go through that way, but you're still gonna, oh wait, hang on, just wait a second, I put this in the wrong spot. It should be inside this thing, just under that. Now you want to duplicate that and put it in the other one, but make it positive 10. And also it seems the cat's a bit stuck. So let's just set his x and y back to 0. Do the same thing, but make it y, because this is up and down now. And make sure... not feeling too good. But anyway, make sure that this number is the opposite of this. So 10 needs negative 10, and negative 10 needs 10. And now if we run it, but you can't go through walls anymore. But hang on, we can't fit through this gap. But we can just go back into the editor and change that. And ta-da! We now have this sort of maze game, and we can just walk around to test if there's anywhere that we can't fit through. But hang on, we don't want the apple to spawn in the wall like that. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get a repeat until block. And we're gonna get a maze. Repeat until touching maze means that it'll keep doing what's in the code until it's not touching the maze. And if we tell it to keep going randomly until it stops touching the maze, then if it spawns in the maze, it'll just redo it until it isn't. And if we just put that in there, and then eat the apple, hang on. Okay, let's just set it to X back. And then eat the apple. Huh. Looks like oh, I see what happened. We want it to not be touching the maze, using this green block. Repeat it until not touching the maze. There. And now the apple is only spawning. Wait a minute. We can't fit through here either. So yeah, you just want to go around adjusting the maze so that you can fit through here. I'm just gonna move that a bit, and this is a bit awkward. And there, now you have for me. But I feel like the cat's a little bit fast. You don't have to change it if you don't want to, but we're actually going to use variables again to make it easier to change it. Because you see how if we wanted to change the speed, we'd have to change all 8 of these numbers. But there's an easier way to do that. So what we're going to do is make a variable called cat speed, and we now have 2 variables. I want to set the cat speed to, let's say, 6. And now we can put the cat speed in put it in all of the ones that are positive. Don't put it in the negatives, because for the negative we need to do something different. For the negative we need this, and if we do that, hang on, set that to 0, then we'll get the negative of it. I usually put a 0 here, but you don't have to. Now we can duplicate that a few times, and then everywhere where there's a negative, we put that there. And now the cat's a bit slower, and just by changing this variable, we can do it. And if we right click here and set it to a slider, and let's put it down here, we can actually change the cat speed. So we can make him like normal, we can make him really slow, and we can make him so fast that he clips through walls. And we can also make him completely still. But I'm just gonna hide that, because we don't want the player changing the speed. And there you have it. That is how you make a maze game with collision for the walls in Scratch. And also make the code for the cat better. So if you make a game like this, then you can send it to me in the link description and I'll have a try of it. I'll see you later. Bye.